Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Good afternoon. This is that same Thursday morning. Maybe this will be my last time coming to you for today, but I got some thoughts on it, and I want to tell you now so I can keep it short. I don't want to combine them and make it too long. But you know what I'm hearing now? I'm hearing that the policemen are upset and angry. They are upset and angry because they have some accountability. They haven't had to have accountability, and now they are pissed. They find that, I believe, in Atlanta, where a cop a murderer, should I say, wearing a cop uniform with a badge and a gun, shot a African American in the back twice. Then went over and kicked him. Cameras picking him up, doing all these things, being paid to serve and protect. Well, it's definitely not black people. And so he found out that he's going to be charged with a crime. And the other guy over there is going to be charged with something as well. And they don't like it. And here's what I heard, that the police department, or a certain number of them, wanted to protest, call in sick. Now, what does that tell you about your police department? You're talking about talking on one another, sharing, being ethically qualified to be on the police department, telling on one another? No. They want to resist, protest, call in sick because they got to be accountable for the way they treat. I guess they're saying, well, we were trained this way. You've expected us to do this all along. And we've been doing it all along to satisfy you. And now you want to throw us under the bus, putting us in jail. Well, I guess they got a point when you really get down to it. Because I always look at the police job as a symptom. And that if we were going to be serious about doing anything, we stop and change the situation. We don't want some adjustments in the way police treat the citizens. We don't want some adjustments in the way the budget is being spent by giving those who have been abused and treated as second-class citizens a little bit of that pie so they can exercise its usage throughout the community. That doesn't do a darn thing. Not one thing has anybody said about addressing the second-class citizenry. Have you heard anybody say anything about discontinuing the second-class citizen and everybody's on the board, flat on the board, everybody's on even ground? Have you heard anybody say anything about that? Well, if you haven't heard anybody say anything about that, then all this other talk is just noise. Just noise. Just noise. And if you find the powers that be are those that's been riding in the comfort seat, and if they say to you, well, we just can't switch like that, it's going to take a little bit of time, then you suggest to them, and as I suggest to them now, then while we are adjusting and waiting on time, you take the second-class citizen stands, and we'll take the upper stand. We'll take the upper stand, and you take the second-class citizen stand until we deal with this. I got the strangest feeling if we were able to do that, it wouldn't take too long to fix this. Probably could do it within a week if we couldn't do it within a day. But as long as you're still riding on top and we're still on the bottom, we could do this another 40 years. But I say that those of you who don't know God, well, don't let me say you don't know God. Because maybe you do know God. But you don't know God like I know God. And maybe the God that you know will permit you to walk on in bondage as a second-class citizen, with Joe Biden representing the powers that have always walked on top of you. And now, in the middle of this situation, you're ready to go and give him your vote. Let me tell you something, ladies and gentlemen. These white people, who are our brothers and sisters, they don't like Trump. Especially the one who got a little moral value, moral codes. They can't stand Trump. And they want to get rid of Trump. And they want to use you to get rid of Trump. You're not getting anything out of this deal. Not a doggone thing are you getting out of this deal. Police won't put a chokehold on you. Why won't he? The cameras didn't stop it. The law didn't stop him in the past. Now, what's going to stop the next murder? Well, I don't think it's going to be. We got these guys here who are going to court, who's been charged. You think that's going to stop them? It might slow them down a bit until they see the game isn't being played. But I figure that the best thing to do to retire this police killing is change our system to affect the situation where cops don't need guns, to affect the situation where crimes and violent crimes especially won't be committed, have no need to. Why? People are satisfied. People are not angry. You have to be angry to go kill somebody. You have to be angry to go and hurt somebody. But if you're not angry, you don't have to do that kind of stuff. So we don't have to worry about a cop killing. We don't have to worry about cops calling in sick. Why? Because we don't need them anyway. They're not getting a paycheck. The only thing they're getting is whatever exists in the reservoir of goods and services that are made by the hands of man. They are available to them and everybody else in this country, unlimited and unrestricted. And that includes food, clothing, shelter, education, health care, and a career of their own choosing, whereby they get a chance to play a part in that creative process, which make them part owners of everything that's out there. And yeah, ladies and gentlemen, I know a lot of people who are jealous, think that you will go out there and start talking about responding to this situation, this liberty, this free life, this new life, this heavenly life, as you would at the buffet. You know how it is. When you first start going to a buffet, you just ate, 6 or 7 plates on your table. Sometimes you have food left in every plate. And you would do that for a while till you went enough to find out that every time you go back, the food is always going to be there. It didn't matter how many times people went back, food was going to be there. So all of a sudden, you stop filling up your plate, running all across the place over and over again, trying to get this and get that. All of a sudden, you found out you go to Old Country Buffet, and all you needed was a nice meal, a little of this, and just a little of that. And still, you might not eat it all. And you walked out feeling fine. So yes, if you've never had anything, if you've been ragged all your life and now you got the liberty to go to the store and get you some clothes and shoes, you might just go in there and get as much as you could possibly get. Until you find out that you got to be responsible for cleaning and taking care of it. Then you'll start just having a few things. Why? Because life is so much easier. You don't have to hoard anything. Why take stuff and hoard it when all you got to do is just go to the store and get it fresh and new? Huh? See, that's what I'm saying. You know, everybody been walking around these raggedy cars. You know you want a new car. Especially if you haven't even had one, you want a car. Now you know what that's going to do. The pollution in the air and traffic going to be sitting still. You can't get anywhere. But it'll set it up so that when you're doing your career services and stuff like that, you can do it close to home. You don't have to be going to any place that far. And you might even be able to do it at home as far as that goes. And our transportation system changes where we got whatever we need to get us wherever we want to go in a short period of time. Why? Because we got the time to do it. We are free now. We are children of the Most High God. So when I'm talking to you about that, ladies and gentlemen, I'm talking to you about black people who look at Joe Biden and look at the Democratic Party. Look at all of them. And why can't you look at them and say to them, what do we get for supporting the Democratic Party? You know we're not going to support Donald Trump. We're not going to do that. But what do we get for supporting the Democratic Party? What do we get? You say we get freedom from Donald Trump. That doesn't mean that much because Donald Trump has only been there about close to 4 years. Those other 396 years or so, they were there with others. So what I'm basically saying, ladies and gentlemen, if the Democrats want our vote, then let them make sure that we got equal on the playing field. If we don't have equal on the playing field, we don't give our vote to the Republicans nor the Democrats. We go to the polls, and where they're asking for the president or a senator or something like that, you write your name in. You're saying to the Republican and Democratic Party, you're not going to play us, not again. And I'm talking to blacks, people of color, minorities, and poor folks say we're not going to play this game anymore. We know what Trump is trying to do. Trump is ready to kill all the news people. He's ready to sell out to all the dictators and murder all the people of color, basically. That's what Trump wants to do, and you know America might want to do that. But it's going to be a hell show if they try that. On the other hand, you got the Democrats who just want to try to be slick. They're just trying to be slick, play nice. We're better than Trump. We could never do you like Trump. See what we're trying to do? We're trying to make sure all these new rules and regulations are passed that will benefit you. See, Trump won't do that, but we are doing it. Ask them, are we equal on the playing field? No more second-class citizen. No more second-class citizen. And being smart enough to know that just putting us on the same equal playing field doesn't mean a thing when you compare what we bring on that equal playing field with what you got. No. We got to do better than that. We got to do better than that. We got to make an adjustment. We have to make an adjustment. You're not going to run around here. We only on a equal playing field, and we got a mattress that we got to put on our shoulders to get down the street. And you can put air in yours and float down the street. No, there ain't no equal playing field. If you can do it, then we got the right to do it too. Now, what do we have to do? We have to make sure, ladies and gentlemen, that you get this divider out of the way. What is the divider? The divider is money. You see, the plan, and I'm getting ready to let you go now. The plan is this, is that all of us as human beings, we serve one another. God gave us the earth and all the resources. And then God gave us, to us, with different skills and different benefits that we can utilize to create a manifestation of whatever our minds will imagine. That's what God gave us that for. And in so doing that, no bullies on the playing field. We'll have peace and prosperity and freedom, joy of our lives and the fulfillment of our dreams. No lies, no cheating, no stealing, no hatred, no racism, no bigotry. Now listen, ladies and gentlemen, how can you hear me say these things to you? How can you even think that they might be a little bit true? And then you go right on still seeking after Donald Trump if you're a Republican, or seeking after Joe Biden if you're a Democrat. And they can give you, Trump can only give you worse. Joe Biden can only give you status quo, what you had. I won't say status quo, but I say a repeat of what you've been having. That's the only thing he can give you, a repeat of what you've been having. Black folks, people of color, minorities, that's not good enough for me. You see, I got a God, and it ain't white man, and it's not the laws of men, unless they work with the laws of God. If they work with the laws of God, I'd gladly deal with it. But other than that, not today. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Goodbye.